Well, hello everyone. Welcome. This is Carol Parsons with Blount Small Ship Adventures. Glad to have all of our Travel Leaders Network partners with us today for a kind of 101 webinar on what we're all about, where we go, and how we do it. So thanks for joining me. We're going to get started here in just a moment. And a little bit of housekeeping before we do. Everyone will remain in listen-only mode throughout the presentation, which means I can't hear you, but I'm happy to hear from you in the form of any questions you may have, or if you're having any difficulty with the platform. You can communicate with me through the questions box, which you'll find on the right-hand side of your screen if you see that control panel, and the word questions with a little triangle. Click on the triangle and it'll open up the box that you can type into. You can feel free to use that at any time. I'll keep an eye on it and answer questions as we go along if appropriate. I'll also check it at the end of the session to make sure I've answered all the questions that I can while we're together as a group. We are also recording today's session, so about an hour after we conclude, you'll receive a follow-up email with some additional information and the link to this recording. So you are free to review it at your leisure or certainly share it with any of your colleagues who weren't able to join us today. We'd love to spread the good word, and we appreciate you being here. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got lots I want to tell you. If you are not familiar with Blount Small Ship Adventures, it's a great time to get to know us because we're in our 52nd year of operation and very proud to be a family-owned, American-owned company, and that's pretty rare these days in the travel industry, probably any industry, right? But we have really come from family vacations into a family business. We're now going on the third generation of Blount family members working for the company. And it all started with Luther Blount, pictured here. He was an engineer by trade, but an adventurer at heart. And you'll see how that really comes to play in your client's experience and in who we are as we go on here. Today, the company is run by Luther's daughters, and we are also, as I said, bringing the third generation of Blounts in now. One of the things that Luther dreamt up because he saw a need for it is one of the things that makes us different by design. And that is what you see pictured in these three images here, where literally where the captain is normally piloting from the pilot house can literally drop down into the center of our vessels. Very unique and really allows us to have original, unique itineraries because we can go not only where other, obviously big ships can't, but we can go where even other small ships can't because of this feature. Think of places like the Erie Canal. We're the only overnight cruise line that can navigate the entire length of the Erie Canal because we can get under those low bridges in shallow waterways. We use that a lot. We also have this great feature, the bow ramps, and here we're in the beautiful clear waters of Belize, and we get to go ashore whether there's a dock or not. So again, we have incredible access to the world as we visit, and in this case, even a wet landing, stepping off into nature's swimming pool there. So, you know, it's a really great combination of patented features that make our vessels so unique and make us different by design. You know, we get to go where other big ships can't get to. Very often when you're docked, you're going to see nothing but private boats and maybe a ferry or two. That's the kind of place that we visit. We get away from the manufactured ports of call and take your clients to see the real world where they can feel like a local, they can meet the local people, not just in the gift shops, but where they live and where they are and where some of them are vacationing perhaps. So it's really a different kind of experience that once your clients experience it and have that discovery, you put them in touch with it, they're going to be very loyal to us. They're also going to be very loyal to you because you put them together with this one-of-a-kind experience. Luther Blount used to always like to say it's like cruising on your friend's yacht, and that's really the spirit in everything that we do. When you step on board, you're among friends. It is a casual atmosphere, and that goes right down to the dress code. We have no dress code on board. We want you to be dressed for the adventure, comfortable, come as you are. People may change for dinner, but they absolutely don't dress up. It's this immediate, relaxed atmosphere. And our typical guest is going to be your more mature clientele. I'm going to say 60 plus, though that's certainly coming down on certain itineraries. And as we develop different itineraries and shore excursions that are more active, we're certainly beginning to attract younger folks as well. But, generally speaking, these are going to be your clients who have been there, done that, and are looking for a different way to travel. These are the folks who really appreciate the benefits of small ship cruising, that they are not standing in lines at every turn. They're not waiting to get on and off the vessel. They can do things their way, whether that's taking an optional shore excursion that we offer or going off on their own and exploring. We have crew members to assist them and facilitate that. We also have sports equipment on certain itineraries, like the kayaks you see here, and bicycles that I'll show you too, that allow people to get out and do things the way they like to. Very often these are going to be folks who have visited some of these places and may want to do their own thing, or they've never been, so they'll want to take an overview sightseeing optional excursion. So it's flexible, and we've got lots of choice and variety. Very laid back atmosphere on board. This is the Grand Mariner. I'll show you a little bit about the fleet. It really is like traveling on your own. I like to say my own yacht with some friends rather than a friend's yacht, but there you are. Either way, that's the idea. Here's a little bit of information on the vessels. You can also find all of this and more on our website and also in the print materials. We've got the two vessels in the Grand class. They're both nearly identical twin sister ships with 84 guests on board, maximum number. So, again, a small number of like-minded people makes for a very different experience than any other kind of cruising. This is my idea of how to go. And we have 4 different categories of traditional small ship cruising cabins, and by that I mean, they're not large and oversized because of the scale, size, and shape of our vessels. There's going to be some variety there. You can find more details on our website or in the print brochures in terms of the layouts and the details, but just know that they are very well laid out for the space that we have, with lots of storage space under the beds, hanging space, and drawer space. Bedding configurations in certain cabins can be changed just by simply moving that center table and putting the beds together. All of the windows do open, though the ship is fully air conditioned. It's a very comfortable home away from home. We also have cabins on both vessels that have been retrofitted to have a separate entrance to the shower from the bathroom. Or the others have what's known as a marine head, where it's all in one space and the shower is separated by a curtain on a track. So either works very well, and your clients have that choice. So that's just a little bit about the fleet. And when you're on board with us, we are all American crews on U.S. flagged vessels. And that's one of those things that, is hard to kind of capture on a brochure page, but does make a definite difference to your client's experience. They're going to really bond with the folks that they're traveling with, the crew members. Some of these folks have been with the Blount family all of them have been with the family for years, some of them generations, like Captain John Honeywell there on the left. He's been with the Blount family in one capacity or another for 30 years. He's one of our favorite captains now. So, they are folks that share that sense of discovery and exploration, and they love what they do. And again, I think that's what happens. It comes across in your client's experience when they travel with us. A couple of other things that are unique to us, make us different by design, is our alcohol policy. Some of you may recognize the term BYOB. It literally means bring your own bottle, and that's what we encourage clients to do, either wine, spirits, beers, any combination thereof, whatever they'd like to have. And we provide everything else, from the barware to the mixers to the olives for their martinis. We got them covered. We've got a storage system and a labeling system. It works really well. And, the best part is there's no big bar bill at the end of the cruise. Everyone loves that. But people can really, do their own thing, have a drink when they like, and share, have mixing parties. It's really a great program, great policy. Now, we do have a couple of beverage stations just like this. One is upstairs in the Vista View Lounge. This one's downstairs in the dining room, where you'll see we've got all kinds of soft drink options, coffee options. There's hot beverages as well as cold. This is all included in the cruise price, and it's accessible to your clients 24/7. So great value, great convenience. That's kind of the idea there. We also have events where we're providing the alcohol, and in that case, it's included in the cruise price as well. So on every departure, we'll have 2 hosted cocktail parties where not only are we bartending and so we're pouring, we're paying, but we're also providing an incredible spread of wonderful hors d'oeuvres. Here we're doing it on the top deck, so we've got some shrimp on the barbecue. You know, can't go wrong with the food on board. And so that's really a lot of fun, those 2 events. Then we also serve house brands of wine and beer at lunch and dinner on board. That's included in the cruise price as well. So outside of those, it's the BYOB policy, and that really all works quite well. So while we're talking about the food, one of my favorite things to do on board, because remember, chef is not cooking for thousands of people, 84 guests or less. So he can be creative. He can shop locally. You know, these are chef prepared, healthful meals that your clients are really going to love. Menus are posted daily. Here's a sample menu for you. And, you know, if your clients have any special dietary requirements, it's usually not difficult to accommodate. You know, if there's something that your client doesn't like or can't eat on the menu, they can let a crew member know, and we can often just throw a chicken breast or a steak on the grill. But let us know about that in advance, and just about anything can be accommodated. Food is really fantastic, served family style at some meals like breakfast and lunch. Some items will be buffet, like the breakfast cereals and yogurts, things like that. But then the waiter will come to the table with big platters of fantastic, you know, blueberry pancakes or stuffed French toast, whatever chef is whipping up for that breakfast, and folks can have as much as they like. It's family style. Then at dinner, like you're seeing here, we have a choice of entrees at every dinner, and really fantastic variety of side dishes, and the presentation is wonderful. We have a pastry chef on board every departure, so those beautiful big loaves of bread are baked fresh for every meal. Decadent desserts, things like cookies and scones, always available at the 24-hour pastry station as well for snacks between meals. But I think your clients will really love the food, because everything we do is inspired by our destinations. And, you know, you better believe New England seafood figures strongly on many of our departures. And, you know, that's the way we do lobster at Blount, the whole lobster with drawn butter. We don't mask it and hide it. It's the real thing. So here's a breakfast example here in the dining room. Everyone's enjoying scrambled eggs and whatever else they'd like to have. So it's really great food that your clients are going to enjoy. Now, the entertainment on board is low key, but that doesn't mean we don't have it. You know, we really do have a wonderful enrichment program on board that consists of guest speakers or folks that will join us for the entire duration of an itinerary, like our new partnership with HistoryNet. We have historians that will be on select departures, and they really bring the history of those places to life. Maybe we're in Belize or Panama, where our Luz Hunter there on the lower left is just a fantastic naturalist. Her whole heart and soul is in the natural beauty of these countries, and she brings that to life. And maybe entertainers that come on board, or maybe a local vintner that we're going to do a wine tasting with, a real variety of things that are really itinerary based. And you can find out more when you read through the day-by-day itineraries on the brochure pages or the website. So we have this great space, the Vista View Lounge, with all the AV equipment for those presentations, and the big GPS, the big screen TV there usually has the GPS on, but we can use it for other presentations. This is also everyone's living room away from home. And again, it's a very social atmosphere on board. People come in and mix and mingle, get themselves a drink of choice, and, you know, get to know their fellow travelers. So we have all kinds of books and games and DVDs. They're welcome to bring their own DVDs if they want to watch a movie. We also have books, guides, field guides, local walking maps, all of that sort of thing here all the time for folks to, you know, kind of learn a little bit about where they are. So lots of different things happen, and a lot of it happens right there in the Vista View Lounge. Now, I mentioned optional excursions earlier. I'll just mention them again because they do have an additional charge, but if you think of them as your client's way to customize their experience, you know, they're really very competitively priced, and they can range from everything from a walking tour at about $20 or $25 to something more expensive, which might be a full day motor coach trip that's going to go out to Niagara Falls, the Maid of the Mist, and all of that, great experience that goes along with it. So it really varies, and we do publish the optional excursions for itineraries as we get closer to them, and we make that available to you if you want to know more. So those are really the things that allow people to do things the way they like to do it, and to make sure that they're doing the things in that place that they want to do. Again, if they've never been, they might want to do our overview sightseeing, but if they have been before, maybe they want to do something specialized, and we'll make that easy for them too. And like I said, we have the kayaks on certain departures. We have the bicycles on certain departures. Now, currently the kayaks are complimentary, but the bicycles do have a charge for them. We treat them like an optional excursion because, of course, not everyone will want to explore this way, but when they do, it's really easy to deploy, get them out there enjoying it, and so that works well too. So let's get into our itineraries. I want to give you a quick tour of what we do and what it looks like. And I'm going to encompass 2018, the remainder of this year, as well as 2019, because there are sales opportunities all throughout. These are some of our favorite itineraries. Some of these are what we consider signature itineraries, things like the Locks, Legends, and Canals, the Saguenay. Those are the ones where we use those patented features like the bow ramp and the retractable pilot house. So they're very unique itineraries. And then, of course, we've got some really great ones that are coming up that are new. Now, the New England Escapes, the first one I'm showing you, is the exception to all of the rules, really, because this is an itinerary we kind of just put into place last year for those folks, and this is definitely attracting a younger clientele as well as the more mature clientele. That's just getting them out from our home port of Warren, Rhode Island, out to a couple of the islands here in New England. So it's a fantastic long weekend getaway, and we've got 2 departures in this year that are remaining that you may have an opportunity to sell. Now, what makes them different is that we don't have the BYOB policy on here. We don't have any pre or post onboard stay. There's a lot of those extra inclusions that we don't include on these. So it's really just a great means of transportation to see these amazing places. And we do have the BYOB policy on all other cruises. So here we go with this itinerary. We're going to visit places like Block Island and, with 17 miles of serene beach. Martha's Vineyard comes up on this one. So it's a really wonderful itinerary for people who just want to get off and see some of those beautiful spots in New England in the peak summertime. So we'll also visit Newport, Rhode Island, as we do on several other departures, which is a fabulous town for so many reasons, not the least of which is the Gilded Age mansions there that you can tour. So the Historic Massachusetts Sampler has just sailed, actually. It was our 4th of July departure this year, and it was a great success. So we do have the 2019 departure on the books ready to sell. It's going to depart in June. And you'll see on a lot of these summary maps that I have for you this onboard early arrival option, which is a great value for your clients' money. And, a lot of times you're sending them in a day early just to make sure, the airlines do their thing and they get where they need to be. Well, this is a great way to make it part of the experience for them, not just part of the transportation. So they stay on board the vessel. There's a couple of meals included there as well, and it's a great base of exploration for them in advance of the actual cruise. So that's a good option in a lot of these places. This itinerary will begin in Boston. It's an 8-day cruise that's going to take in some of the little towns along the way, like Newburyport. We're going to visit Provincetown. We'll also visit Martha's Vineyard and those kinds of places that we just looked at on the previous itinerary. So a nice leisurely 8-day cruise in the heart of New England. The Maine and New Brunswick itinerary is a 10-day itinerary, also 2019 departures. This one is a 2-nation vacation that is going to go right up the coast of Massachusetts and Maine and just nip into New Brunswick. So we're going to stop in places like Bath and New Brunswick and Rockland, Maine. And, this is a great itinerary for people who want to experience the best of down east and fantastic seafood along the way, and also get into a little bit anyway of the provinces of Canada. We'll be visiting St. Andrews by the Sea with all its great steeples and the Algonquin Hotel there, and then we'll head back down to Maine and see Portland, the Portland Head, and make our way back. So great nature lover itinerary and beautiful scenic coastline. The Islands of New England is an itinerary that has a number of departures, a couple remaining this year and several coming up for next year, again in the heart of the summertime. This is the one that is going to feature lobster on the menu every single day. I said our menus are inspired by the local cuisine. Well, it's all about the seafood and the bounty of these waters on this itinerary. So we even have a traditional lobster bake on this itinerary and clam bake when we land on Martha's Vineyard. So it's really a fantastic foodie itinerary for your clients as well. Some of the places that we'll be visiting, as you see here, a little Nantucket, Massachusetts, which is kind of laid back cousin. And we'll also be visiting Newport. Here's the outside of the breakers. This is one of the optional excursions that we offer here, the tour inside the breakers, which is really spectacular. But if your clients have done that, there's so much else to do in Newport. Maybe they want to grab one of the bicycles and ride along Cliff Walk, which is the backyard of all of these new Gilded Age mansions, or get into the downtown, to the port area of Newport. It's beautiful as well. It's a sailing town. It's the home of tennis. There's so much to see and do there. So great itinerary for that. And again, lobster every day on the menu. And this is the way we do lobster at Blount Small Ship Adventures. The Great American Waterways is up next. In this one, as we make our way through the year, we're always traveling at the best time to be there. We still have departures in 2018. I'm going to show you special offers a little bit later. This is definitely a signature itinerary because we use that retractable pilot house as we transit the entire length of the Erie Canal, as you can see here. So this is one of the Blount family favorites. It takes in 4 of the Great Lakes, the Erie Canal, and it really takes it all in. We'll visit beautiful Chicago. We'll also be making our way to Mackinac Island, where it's all about the no combustion engine, horse-drawn carriages, bicycles, or your own 2 feet. That's what it's all about there. And we have an opportunity to transit the entire length of the Erie Canal here, which is a fabulous experience to be on board when that's happening. You see, we have the pilot house down in this image, so that's the difference. That's what it looks like when we drop the sun deck, bring that pilot house down, and we can really go where no one else can. Makes it pretty special. Magical Lake Michigan, a fabulous all-time favorite itinerary. We go right in the heart of summertime. It's a beautiful time to be on this inland sea that is Lake Michigan. It's one of the largest bodies of fresh water in the Great Lakes system, and it's just beautiful with these little towns all along that we'll be visiting. In and out of Chicago, we'll be visiting Manitowoc, and also the wonderful walkable town of Mackinac Island. Great to have our floating hotel as your accommodation here. We'll be visiting Holland, Michigan with its Dutch influence, and have a really perfect time of year to be there. Locks, Legends, and Canals is another one of the signature itineraries because, again, we're going to be transiting the length of the Erie Canal. We're also going to be coming up the Hudson River into Lake Oswego, Lake Ontario, rather, my alma mater of Oswego, right there on the lake, and then into the St. Lawrence Seaway, and one of my favorite areas here, the Thousand Island region, one of the best kept secrets. All starts out in the Big Apple, and we dock right at Chelsea Piers, so it's a great base of operation there for exploration. When we're transiting the Erie Canal, this is what it's like when you are literally standing on the deck of our vessel in this feat of engineering that really made the St. Lawrence Seaway, the means of transporting people and goods in its day. Now it's mostly recreational, but it changed the way our country did business and moved people. And to be standing on the deck like this really gives you a sense of that power that we had by being able to do that. As we make our way into Canada on this itinerary, not only will we be visiting the fantastic cities of Quebec City and Montreal, but we'll also visit smaller ports of call like Trois-Rivières, Three Rivers, which is like a miniature Quebec City and a great place to explore. And of course, we will get to Quebec City and Montreal on both of these. So great itinerary is that one. And the Saguenay, which does have departures both this year and next, is an extension of that in a way. It's very similar, except that we're going to continue up north of Quebec City to another best-kept secret, and that is the Saguenay River. We'll be visiting the tiny little port of Saguenay. It's a wonderful town, and we'll also be getting right into the heart of the Saguenay, which is a fjord-like area. Well, before I get there, let me show you the Thousand Islands region. This is just one of those Thousand Islands. This is Dark Island and Singer Castle on it. We make a stop here where we pull right up to the boathouse. This was a hunting lodge built by one of the industrial barons before income taxes, and today it's a museum, so we get to pull up right there to the boathouse, walk ashore. It's to the manor born. You really have a sense of what it was like in the day, and we usually have it all to ourselves when we visit there, so it's very special and a great example of how the way we travel makes the experience. But then here we are up in the Saguenay. It's this very fjord-like region with very deep, cold waters where the St. Lawrence River meets the Saguenay River. So it is a world-class place for whale watching. Beluga whales, humpback whales, orca whales all frequent these waters. So it's a naturalist thrill to be out on deck checking it out. And we will have wildlife experts on board to help us have the best experience we can there. And then on this itinerary, we also visit Quebec City, Chateau Frontenac pictured here, and Montreal as well. So all real winners. I want to just briefly show you what's new for 2019 because we're really excited about our Panama trips. We've got 3 departures starting in February, and they're each different. We have the opportunity on the middle one, the February 15th departure, to actually transit the canal twice. So that's pretty cool. I encourage you to check our website and take a look at the differences and the similarities between the 3. And we also have a recorded webinar where I go into detail on what those differences are to help your client pick the one that's going to be just right for them. But whichever one they pick, this is going to be the way to experience Panama with Blount Small Ship Adventures. We do have the kayaks on board. They are complimentary. We also have snorkel equipment complimentary for each guest on board. So they get a set that fits and they have it to go and play. Another patented feature that Luther dreamt up and created, made real, is the glass bottom launch that we have with us. And it's a great way to see everything in the underwater world without even getting your feet wet. Can't be beat. So we'll deploy that frequently throughout the cruise. There's no charge for that. It's all included. The Panama Canal, of course, a very important waterway. I don't need to give you the history of it. It's on a lot of people's bucket lists. They all want to have that experience of going through that man-made cut of water that changed the way the world related to itself. It gave us a 2-ocean navy, and it's a very scenic experience, no matter how you transit it. But again, when you're on a small vessel like ours, I think you really can appreciate the power of Mother Nature and the fact that this is all done through gravity. It's quite astounding. And the size of those Panamax vessels that are all around us really is in a way humbling, but it's also a very empowering way to go through the Panama Canal. I think doing it on a small vessel like ours is the way to go. Then once you're through the Panama Canal, look what's on the other side, the Caribbean side here. We're going to be visiting the San Blas Islands and some really remote locales where the Kuna people are the local inhabitants with their incredible crafts. We're also going to have an opportunity to visit the Emberá people when we're on the other side in Panama in the Darien jungle. We'll visit a village, and this is one of my photographs from several years ago. But these are people who are very much living traditional lifestyles, so a rare opportunity to have that type of experience when you travel on any of those 3 Panama Canal departures with us. So check out that recorded webinar or join us on a future one. I know we'll be doing it again. Your clients will love it. Belize and Roatan is back too in January and then in March. So on either end of the Panama trips, we're going to do Belize and Roatan. And this is kind of an extension of the Belize and Guatemala trip that we've done in past years. We love this part of the world. And again, traveling with Blount, you have such access to this destination, to the ecosystem. So it's not just for the most mature clientele, anybody who really wants to get out and snorkel every day and get into this incredible ecosystem with the second longest barrier reef on the planet. This is a great choice for a vacation. We're in Belize City here. We have the kayaks, of course, and we do have a kayak master. So if clients have never done it before, what a great place to learn. We'll visit places like Placencia, and here's where you can see we have the bow ramp down. We literally walk off onto the beach. It's great to watch the local people when they're on shore and we're approaching, and we just keep coming. And they're like wondering what we're doing, and then we drop the ramp and there we are. It really gives us flexibility to go where no one else can. And Placencia is such a charming little town, but it also means that we can drop that into this crystal clear water at places like West Snake Key and just get in to nature's swimming pool right from the ship. It's fantastic. On this itinerary, we're also going to be going over to the Bay Islands of Utila, which is just gorgeous, and Roatan, where we'll have use of all of the facilities at the resort called Fantasy Island. And they've got lots of resorts, lots of activities that you can take advantage of if you'd like to. So we get the best of all worlds by having access to those land facilities. And both Utila and Roatan, we've got extended stays, like up to 2.5 days, so you've got plenty of time to play. Another new itinerary for 2019 is the Chesapeake Bay, and this is a great one for people who are looking for America's history and some really beautiful coastal scenery as we make our way from Annapolis to Yorktown, from Baltimore up through Norfolk and along the Chesapeake Bay itself, which is so scenic. So lots of history. I imagine we will have our historian from HistoryNet with us to bring it all to life, and a great way for your clients to experience these places, especially if they never have. And finally, the last new itinerary I want to share with you. Oh, well, no, 2 more. We've got the Chicago to Montreal, which is a unique itinerary, just a single departure. We're going to, a little bit of a change on the variation on itineraries that we've done, where we'll visit Chicago, Mackinac Island, Cleveland, Ohio, Buffalo, but we'll also be visiting Toronto, Ontario on this one, as well as Montreal, in Quebec. So you've got a little variation on the theme, and great opportunity to see Toronto for sure. And then finally, I've got the Hudson River and coastal fall foliage, a single departure in 2019, and it is just what it says. It's for your leaf peepers. What a fantastic itinerary. 9 days that finishes up the Grand Mariner's cruising season. So we're gonna take her home and take your clients with us. We're going to begin in New York. We're going to make our way up the Hudson River Valley, and it will be on fire with color when we're doing this. And then we'll make our way back down through the Long Island Sound, and it will also be aflame, and then out to our home port of Warren, Rhode Island. So a great relaxing itinerary that will take in some cosmopolitan aspects, but also that incredible fall foliage all throughout that part of our country. So good choices all, and I hope that gives you a little bit of a sense of what we have to sell. I will tell you that in the handout section, if you're here with me live, we have the 3 flyers that you can download by clicking on them and saving them to your desktop. We've got the Blount Panama and Belize PDF is a little mini brochure on those brand new itineraries. And then the other two are special promotions that I'm going to tell you about right now, so you can have your very own copy. If you're listening to this recording, I'm also going to show you where you can download that information or find it on our website. So this is what our website looks like. All the navigation is up here in the upper right, and you can go to that where it says current offers in red on the home page and find all of the special offers that are current hot offers. So that's what you'll also find on the promotion sheet PDF in the handout section if you're with me here live. But these are time sensitive. You have to book these by 7/16, and they are fleeting. You know, sometimes they're early booking opportunities. Sometimes they're the last few cabins. Sometimes we'll throw in a value add, like with the Saguenay right now. We've got some great savings and the free early arrival, which has a $150 value to it right there. So these are really important to know about if you're going to be talking to a client and about Blount. So, you know, a good place to check to find out what we've got going on in current specials. And you can also find that when you go to the travel agent section of our website, and that is accessible from this navigation area, again, in the upper right where you see travel agent login. And I think I have a screenshot of that coming up, but you just click there. If you've never been in there, it's a very easy process to get yourself in. You just send us an email and we'll set you up, and then you'll have access to all kinds of resources, including this list of special offers as well. The other PDF that I have in the meeting room here for you to download is the early booking opportunities. I do not know whether this is up on the website yet or not, but if you're listening to the recording, you can give us a call and we'll make it available to you. These are good until August 27th, so you got a little more time. These are early booking opportunities on the 2019 departures and the 2019 new itineraries that we looked at today. So as you can see, we try to keep consumer offers out there in the marketplace consistently so that you have a reason to reach out to your clients and some closing tools to use when you're talking to them about Blount. So some really great opportunities there. If you have any opportunities around groups and charters, we'd love to work with you. For us, a group is defined as a minimum of 10 paying passengers, and we've got a few different ways we can work it with you in terms of deposits and policies. So if you have any opportunities, we'd love to talk to you. You can contact Kathy Trafford, our Director of Sales, at that email address there on your screen, or of course you can just give us a call. We also have savings opportunities that you can find on the website, things like our friends and family rate, where if your clients book 2 or more cabins on the same itinerary, and if at least one of the cabin's guests are new to Blount Small Ship Adventures, each cabin will receive a monetary savings. Depends on the length of the cruise, what exactly that is. But we have things like that we keep out there all the time, in addition to the special current offers that we have. We also have a very generous agent discount policy. If you ever have the opportunity to travel with us, we'd love to have you so we can show you what Difference by Design is really all about. And it's up to 75% off for you, 50% for a traveling companion or spouse. And that's just based on how close in your cruise is confirmed. So if you have the opportunity or the inkling or desire, please give us a call. We handle these on a case-by-case basis, and you just give us a call and we'll do the best that we can for you. So here's some contact information for you, our toll-free number and an email address there. The BlountAdventure.com web address, the URL down at the bottom there, is the same as BlountSmallShipAdventures.com, just a little bit shorter. So you can use either one to get to our website, and we do really hope you'll contact us if there's anything we can do. We'd love to work with all of you at Travel Leaders Network. We have override commissions, of course, in place for you to make it even more worthwhile for you to learn about us and to recommend us to your clients. We also have all of our social media links there. You can click on them right directly from the website, and our team's doing a great job with social media, putting some videos out there so you can really put your client into the picture and show them just how much fun folks are having on Blount Small Ship Adventures, even as we speak. So check it out, join the conversation, and certainly let us know if there's anything that we can do to be of assistance. I'm going to go ahead and check the questions box again and see if there's any questions I can answer for the group. I do have a question about BDMs. Currently, Kathy Trafford is our Director of Sales, and she would be the person to contact with any questions or sales requests. And let me bring up her information again here under the Groups and Charters page. Kathy at BlountSmallShipAdventures.com will get you to her. So please feel free to either call and ask for her or send an email anytime. Let me see what other questions. Looks like that's all the questions I have in the box at the moment. So I'll leave this open for another couple of minutes just in case you're in the process of typing. Otherwise, again, thank you for your time and energy today. We really do value our relationship with everyone at Travel Leaders, and we hope to work with each and every one of you going forward. So get in touch, let us know how we can help, and join us on a future webinar. We do webinars at least once a month to dive deeper into the destinations and the various itineraries that we offer. So hopefully I will speak with you again. Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon. Bye now.